for Nuguri. He is going to lock that one in. Definitely isolated, a good choice. Don't know whether it really fits the composition fantastically well, but they do have some poke options. And certainly the long-range pick of the Ashe arrow means that, you know, you soften them up with a shock blast, shoot them with an arrow, and everyone dives on top.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a really fun composition when you're ahead. And I think that DWG Gaming, just with how good they are, they're going to get ahead. And
yeah.
I think we're going to see a very feisty kind of game here. Unless Hanwha Life kind of pull the Jin where they go into their turtle shell and they say, well, we don't want to fight you. We have a Renekton, but we don't care about that. Hopefully Viper can carry us. Like the only times we've won yet is when Viper carries us. So maybe that will just be their strategy. If they can get a really fed Aphelios in the late game, there is still hope for them. But again, we do have to take the team nameplates into account when we talk about all this stuff. But
yep, you were saying a lot of ifs, and I was hearing a lot of ifs about this particular composition. They definitely do have a lot of burliness. They've got some early to mid game insurance with the old Lee Sin. But Rek'Sai in the isolated matchup definitely does a whole lot better. And if you're talking about early game, that's where DAMWON certainly thrive. We'll see whether ShowMaker can actually get some priority here this game. Melee versus melee in the mid lane does mean that Sylas is probably going to be absolutely fine. But the wave clear out of Galio certainly does eclipse that of the Sylas in the early stages. So we'll see whether Mireu can actually keep him down, because keeping down ShowMaker is certainly going to be the aim of the game here for Hanwha Life, and also a very tall order for a very new mid laner here for Hanwha Life Esports. But let's do it. Let's get into game one of our first match on our final day of week 7.
Here we go. Welcome to the Rift. And there is a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of Mireu, as you were mentioning. It's up against ShowMaker. It's on his best champion, from what we can see, so he's got that going for him, but he's also the only AP damage on his team. So, you know, Galio's not necessarily somebody who's shelling out consistent AP damage, but he obviously is very good in the combo sense. But if you look at their team, they don't really have a lot of range. I mean, it's only Aphelios, and unless he's got that first gun, the Calibrum, I believe it is.
Indeed, the sniper gun, the Caitlyn gun.
Yeah, then you're going to be really short-ranged as a team. So the only time you're going to be able to attack the opponent is if they're all coming into you, or you are able to hard engage into them. But if you look on the other side, we got Jayce and Ashe. I think that Ghost and Nuguri can do a fine job of keeping Hanwha Life at length.
Dude, he's just like, nah, I don't think I actually want to shoot this guy. I mean, I don't want to hit this guy. Not really what he wants. Chain Lash is starting here. As haven't checked in on the bottom lane just yet. I wanted to talk about some bottom combat. We didn't get to. Here we are. Bottom combat, ready for you guys.
We have some Mortal Kombat. We have bottom combat.
It's just a lot of combat.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, the thing that we talk about a lot of the time when nothing's happening. And having a look at the Ashe Pantheon win rates, certainly DWG are doing this one very, very well. 2-0, haven't lost very many games, of course. The Gen G also, I believe this was yesterday, they were able to bring it out and picking themselves up a win. It's Team Dynamics that are really fumbling it, and they're forcing it a lot so far.
Yeah.
Any other team seems to just be finding success with this lane duo.
Yeah, I think we need more stats, you know. I think it'll be interesting once we get into playoffs if this kind of combo really takes off and gets really popular, because then it's going to be, you know, more DWG DRX, DWG T1, or DRX Gen G, right, where it's really evenly matched teams. And it's not just DWG, you know, crushing bottom-level teams, as here we go.
Oh, gets in the way. Really beautiful stuff here as the Abduct is going to land, and Canyon going to grab that first blood. Emotes are blazing. And this one started pretty early, Valdez.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of CC that the Sylas and the Rek'Sai have together is pretty insane. And you can see that Canyon, that's a very fortunate time for that to pop up right as they pick up first blood. He's 10-2 on the pick of Rek'Sai, which is, of course, very common into the Lee Sin. But didn't even have to face off against Lee Sin and already picked up a kill. So things going pretty well for DWG already.
Yeah, real scary stuff. I love the use of the abscond by ShowMaker to block the Justice Punches. BeryL is... He's never in his dang lane.
You knew this was coming.
Yeah, well, we'll see whether the abduct's going to land, and it will. There's the stun, and Mireu going to get blocked one more time. That's a taunt, but you don't want to be taunting this team. Flash forward by BeryL, and that's the second one. Here at 4 minutes in. Oh god, this is not going to take long, is it?
That felt like solo queue, where the mid laner is like, oh, my jungler's right next to me. I can engage on this, right? And again, Mireu didn't have any escape. So he's like, I'm going in. Hopefully my jungler helps. Cad moves to the left. It auto-attacks the Scuttle Crab. He smites it, and then he comes like 5 seconds late. And it's like, well, that's not going to help out. And of course, you should expect this from BeryL. So. Going right to the beginning here. And Canyon he cleared all of his red side jungle and immediately came mid. That was all he was doing. And then this was the follow-up. Cad's like, no, I really need that Scuttle Crab right now. And then BeryL's like, well, I guess I'll just pick up the kill.
Yeah, needed to flash for that one, but you're right. Cad, a little bit late on the rotation. Haven't seen too much of Cad. Recently, it has been Haru that's been getting a lot of the limelight, but not exactly performing all that well with it. So Ghost gonna miss a bit of CS here. That melee creep should help him. There we go. Nicely done. Tidies it up. Down by about 5 as, okay, Lehends just going to have to push the unbreakable button after losing half of his health bar. Oh, that's a very nice sidestep there. BeryL, loving it.
Look at him, he's 1-0. He's already like confidently owning the lane by himself.
Yeah, also has a longsword. Gonna have that serrated Dirk pretty soon, and if he has that as DAMWON hit level 6, like, the arrow comes out instantly and someone dies, right?
Oh, look.
It's going to go.
Perfect counter gank timing from Canyon.
Well, here he goes, tunneling forward and trying to block Justice Punches once again as Cad going to get booped back and is probably going to die next. Sweeper brought out just to make sure that they can see where he's going, but looks like they're not going to chase any further, understanding that he is pretty slippery on this Lee Sin. Okay, never mind. Slowly but surely, here we go, and Cad thought, surely they're not going to come on over as ShowMaker misses the chain. Canyon tunnels his way out, and ShowMaker now trying to come through one more time. Preyseeker going to find Cad, but not do enough damage. And now DAMWON are going to transition this into a lot of denial here on the bottom side, potentially. See whether Lehends and Viper are going to get doped. That's a big minion wave. It looks like DAMWON, they're just going to try and go for a reset, utilize this opportunity, and not bite off more than they can chew. Some reserved play out of DAMWON.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I feel like DAMWON, at this point in the game, 6 minutes in, probably would most of the time just be diving bottom lane just because they're going to like pull off the perfect dive.
I mean, while we're here,
yeah,
you know.
That's kind of the way it felt in the mid lane too. It's like, who do we kill? I mean, we have our pick of the litter. We could just get both of them. Fortunately, they did spread their damage a little bit too much, and they let Cad get away, but it was just Canyon being there at the perfect timing.
It was really unfair as well, because ShowMaker stole a kick that Cad didn't even have yet.
He's level 4. It's like,
so unfair.
Who's kicking, actually?
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I was very confused, and I'm like, oh yeah.
He kicked, and it kicked the kicker as well. Like, oh, you don't kick the kicker. That's not very fair.
Yeah.
Man.
Should be against the rules.
Mm-hmm. And we did sort of have some bottom combat, but it wasn't actually in the lane, really. It was sort of behind the turret, so I don't think it's really included. So we're going to have a look at this replay once again. Take us through it here, Valdez.
Yeah. Well, Canyon is counter-ganking, it looks like, but he's actually able to get aggressive with it. And you can see they're like, oh, who we kill? We kicked Cad, but Mireu's here and he has no health and nothing, and he's 0-3 now. Guess we'll just take him. Oh.
Yeah, well, they're dead. Level 6, guys. That wasn't actually used to get that kill, but it was used to get this one, as that is just a 2-for-2 kill on the bottom side of the map by DAMWON. Guys, 2v2 kill. This is not supposed to happen in this lane. It's supposed to be DAMWON's weakness. Damn, Ghost and BeryL have been stepping up recently, man. That's why this team looks so scary.
Yeah. BeryL picked up a kill and he's like, oh, we might have a little bit of an overextension here from Canyon.
Yep, Dudu gonna get booped back, and Canyon's just dead. So Cad there at the right time. And looks, it's a very DAMWON move.
Yeah, that's That's just him feeling it, you know?
Yeah.
He's just feeling it.
Well, he's going to give away Rift Herald most likely here, as Nuguri's going to rotate down, but Lehends is already here. Dudu gets the inside track. And you can see DAMWON, I think they want it. And here's the man drop to bring BeryL on in. There's the hijacked ulti coming out from ShowMaker as well, but the Galio is going to grab the kill onto Pantheon. And I think ShowMaker might have overextended this one. Does flash his way out, but he is well and truly dead. No more Kingslayers for you. And right as we say how good DAMWON is, they decide to throw away some kills. Shelly does reset, but yeah, it's a pretty, some vintage DWG situations going on right here.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell by our casting that we feel like it's just so one-sided, and I think they're bringing that play into the game as well and getting very overconfident. This was just like a straight-up kill that I think they didn't even realize they were in range of. They're like, oh yeah, we're fine. Actually, no. Braum steps forward and just dies. Here, Canyon's like, well, I have zero vision of the enemy jungle. Lee Sin could be anywhere, but let me just go into the enemy jungle anyway. And then Rek'Sai's not here. You're fighting a 3v4. Nuguri doesn't have full health, full mana. Why are you forcing this? It's not necessary. And they even saw with the hawk shot, too, how many people were there. They said, oh, 4 of them. Yeah, let's just go.
Yeah.
And I think they're just kind of off the hook right now. They're kind of just going a little bit too crazy, too aggressive. They gotta reel it back a little bit here.
Just a tad. They still do have a gold lead, but as you can see, that has been neutralized a little. Viper and Lehends back down here towards the bottom side, so Shelly will be taken by DAMWON. See where Canyon's going to put that at the moment. Just going to go back and look for some shoes. Finds it. I wonder whether shoes help you go underground faster. I don't think so.
Some grip, I guess.
Oh, there's the flash kick. Immediate exhaust onto Ghost, who's just going to flash and die. BeryL doesn't lose anything from that one, but does lose his AD carry. Cad coming on over, and look at this guy. 3-0-1. He got a 500 gold shutdown by killing ShowMaker earlier. Lee Sin's a big deal. That's the flash from BeryL, though. Prey Seeker and the Void Rush will mean a deadly sin. I'm caster cursing so bad this week, by the way. As Nuguri's going to find a Crocodile, but he also finds a Gargoyle, and he doesn't want both of them. As he disappears as Mireu comes in. Dudu flashes on over as well. Nuguri very slow, but has an acceleration gate. As he's trying to turn this one, but he's still going to die. So uses a lot, but does get the flash out of Dudu. Turret plate's coming on in here for ShowMaker, and I believe he's even going to get the assistance of Shelly as well. So it is some extra money now available for the DAMWON mid laner. There she goes, and 160, not bad there for ShowMaker.
It almost looked like he wanted to give all of it over to Canyon with how fast he was trying to run away from the plates, but this is just really clean. I mean, you gotta hand it to Cad. He was getting just absolutely out-jungled in the first 5 minutes of the game. I mean, he was just getting destroyed.
Yeah.
So for him to turn it around real quick and to capitalize on DAMWON's mistakes, but then unfortunately, he kind of does a similar thing to what Canyon did, and he said, well, you know, Rek'Sai could be anywhere, but let me just run into the enemy jungle here, and he absolutely got punished for it. I was curious to see how this one started. It's kind of just Nuguri things. Didn't realize he had a ward behind him and got a little bit too aggressive and eventually gets punished for it.
Yep, and also uses his flash here. Buys a bit of time, which is why ShowMaker was able to get a whole bunch of turret plates, and Canyon went over, got him even more. And that will sort of open up the game. Only one more plate remaining in the mid lane. Minute and a half before those are going to fall down. And Canyon, you can see, yeah, certainly has been accelerated here. Black Cleaver on the way. Well and truly. And it is still 700 gold in the lead of the Fed Lee Sin, which is pretty crazy. Only Dudu actually ahead of his lane opposition. And you can see why. Nuguri just going to guess where Cad was going to be. But as you can see, he's going to have that minion wave denied, and the dragon is just going to be what they gather as BeryL. He's just going to join in just to make sure that Nuguri isn't going to be too far behind as far as experience. And this is what you can do. I mean, you can just press that ultimate button, make sure that the man disadvantage goes away, and you can sort of patch up any problems. Also, gives BeryL an opportunity to, once again, just ruin his bottom lane duo proxy.
Yeah, that's his main goal.
Yeah, that is his main goal.
He's trying to make support actually a roaming role. Going back to like
Pike.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a great Bard player and a good Pyke player. So, you know, Pyke and Bard don't really want to be in the lane.
Yeah,
so
Pantheon too. You know, he's got the perfect mentality for that kind of support.
Stunning. Infinity Edge done here for Viper. He rushed it. Some brown bags and a really sweet sword. I feel like it's like a guy that owns a Maserati, but, you know, he's wearing Crocs while he's inside it. Here's a heroic entrance to stop that terrible joke. Nuguri is going to be dead again. This cat's going to safeguard forward.
For the
assist. And he's running to the wrong turret. And, yeah, Nuguri is well and truly dead. Yeah, he does.
With the safeguard. He's like, okay, I did my job.
See you guys.
I got some gold. That's good enough for me.
But remember, 0-2 power spike for Nuguri. He's back there. He hasn't been dying that much recently, so probably very happy that this one's happening as BeryL is going to catch out Lehends. ShowMaker is going to join him as Ghost is going to move on up into the jungle as well. It's pretty dark in here, but not actually going to find any members of Hanwha Life. It's so strange, though, because DAMWON are still just passively getting further and further ahead. As the turret plates fall, and DAMWON do get double the value out of those, but it's not exactly a crazy amount of advantage. First turret gold certainly going to be helping here. But, you know, Hanwha Life are going to be happy to scale, unless you look at the top side of the map. They're not very happy to scale, but as soon as you see Aphelios Braum, it is certainly a scary prospect getting towards a late game.
Yeah. And we have been seeing some Godzillas coming out here. And,
that's true.
In the LCK and in other regions, of course, where Renekton is more played, where he gets fed and he gets really tanky and actually does a nice amount of damage in the back line. It's just kind of cookie cutter. I think Nuguri has to play a little bit more safely. I know a lot of other top laners probably would have just been hiding under their turret with Galio missing in the mid lane. And unfortunately, he does not. But as you mentioned, he hits his power spike. He's at 0-2. He's got a tier building up. Got to be checking that clock when you're looking at Nuguri here.
Exactly, exactly. 0-2 power spike. This is when he gets all of the power. But 2-0-3 for Dudu. Like, this guy's, he's a big croc. You're right. Talking about those Godzillas, I believe it was Smeb that was the true Godzilla a couple of days ago. He was real scary. It's going to be a bit of a tanky build here from Dudu. I believe Death Dance going to be coming in as second item alongside his already completed Black Cleaver. It's a lot of cooldown reduction and damage plus safety. Love the build. Viper not going to find that Q. DAMWON just pushing here towards the bottom side. BeryL, of course, is going to leave the lane now. Spent way too long with Ghost. This CAD's going to be spotted by the Hawkshot. A lot of extra value that Ashe gives you as far as vision, especially when it's used alongside Rek'Sai. I mean, DAMWON are going to know way more than they should in this game.
Yeah.
With those abilities.
Even with BeryL all over the map, it's just kind of like the human ward that's also spotting so much, you know? It's a lot of forwardness and scouting out and seeing exactly where your opponent is, trying to stay one step ahead of the Galio, and the way that Hanwha Life can engage will be very important. And the later stages of the game, you know, we were thinking about scaling. I think that when you just look at DAMWON's comp, they, on paper, don't have much, but I think the Ashe gains so much value because of the lack of range that Hanwha Life do have. It is going to be a bit of Viper versus Ghost once it does come down to a really late stage game. I think that DAMWON were kind of just hoping to stomp them early enough so that they didn't have to think about it too much, but now, I mean, it's relatively even, right? I mean, DAMWON are still in the lead, of course, with their two Drakes, and Mountain Drake coming up here is going to be very important to try to deny from the beefy boys of Hanwha Life. So we'll see if they can do it.
Yep. Earth, Wind, and Fire will be what's coming in here today as far as our Dragons. So Mountain Drake will certainly help. Not the greatest one that DAMWON really want. Probably would have liked just Infernal Soul, to be perfectly honest, because it's DAMWON. But this will, like you say, give them some of that extra tankiness, and they do need to deny as many Mountain Drakes as possible. There's a lot of lethality on DAMWON's side in the form of Nuguri and BeryL. As Braceaker comes in, Hanwha Life now in good position around this Drake. ShowMaker just a little bit late to the party, as Hanwha Life now looking for a team fight. See what they are going to be able to do here. ShowMaker is seen. Winterspite is going to connect as well as BeryL dives on forward. There's the heroic entrance. Actually interrupts the Justice Punch. And Mireu has to flash to get out. Protobelt there as well as he presses his R button. And now Canyon's in trouble. Does he have ult in time? And the answer is no, he'd already used it. But they're going to trade 1-for-1. ShowMaker comes down. The chains obliterate Hanwha Life, a triple kill instantly, and now the Crocodile is running for the hills. He doesn't want those chains put on him. Please, no. I'm not a domesticated animal. He is going to run towards the enemy base.
Look at BeryL, he's trying to get the kill.
He goes down by his own terms, and DAMWON will claim Soul Point.
Man, the amount of AoE damage that was coming in there from both the Sylas, but also the Jayce. I mean, Nuguri almost got 5,000 damage in that fight, and Hanwha Life just not spread up enough against what DAMWON have here, so we're going to see that DAMWON never scared to engage, of course. They say, we got the combo, they're all grouped up, they were able to split there, but then you see Mireu get very, very low. Watch this, the Rek'Sai ultimate damage gets denied by Galio in midair, which is kind of interesting, never saw that before. And then look at this, all four of them are on top of each other. Oh, what's going on?
God.
You can't do that against Sylas Jayce.
Yeah.
I think they would have been okay in that fight if they just spread out. They still would have been, you know, having trouble against Ashe, but because they did that, it kind of just all went to the dumpster.
야, 잘 들어갔다 나. 갈려부터. 갈려 필.
Galio. Get Galio.
잡았어.
Got him.
레넥 보자. 들어갈게.
Oh my god.
나이스.
I think he killed Cad with a Luden's proc. As there's the Void Rush. A lot of distance there for Canyon, who then goes underground, now considers trying to kill a Gargoyle as well as Mireu. He's running away. He's not going to get far. BeryL throws a stick at him, and he is going to be dead. 6,000 gold the lead, DAMWON. He took this game from very close to very far for Hanwha Life in a blink of an eye. ShowMaker has his cool book. There are a few books in the shop, guys. There's a cheap book, there's a bad book, and this is the classy book.
Yeah. The legendary book.
Yep.
Where you read about myths.
Yep.
And legends of days past on the Rift.
This is the book ShowMaker's just reading about himself in it.
Yeah.
As
pretty much.
Lehends going to get stunned up. He's going to stand beside Cad, who decides that he wants to go in to get his Aphelios murdered. That was not necessarily the best maneuver, but he does manage to sidestep the abduct. Lehends now should be able to get underneath his turret, but I don't know whether that is going to be safety enough here, as, yeah, it definitely is not, as Rek'Sai is going to yell very, very loud, and now Cad's going to be denied getting out of his base. The spear not going to connect. DAMWON will be able to get rid of this inner turret, and Valdez, I think this game might be over.
It is. It's over. It just devolved so fast. All DAMWON needed, you know, they made some very cocky mistakes in the early game where you're like, okay, DAMWON, come on.
Yeah.
Really? You know, this is not what you have to do to beat this team. But then all they needed was one good team fight, and all of a sudden they're 10,000 gold ahead. It's like,
yeah.
Now everybody on the side of Hanwha Life, everybody's just, it's almost like, you know, they sent out a wolf into the sheep flock, and everybody's just scattering, and a stampede starts. Everybody's getting caught out here. Dudu's alone.
Dudu just...
BeryL comes in, and then it teleports. It's channeled so late, and also there's 4 members of DAMWON, and then you're like, okay, yeah, 5-on-3, and then not 30 seconds later, Hanwha Life are like, yeah, let's fight.
And look at Viper. He's like, I've got the short-range guns. There's Macalibrum. Never mind, I'm dead.
Yeah.
As Cad kicks ShowMaker into him.
This just should have never even been in there, you know? It's like Lehends is like, let me just get some vision 3v5.
I've never seen Rek'Sai in the summer split look this good, actually. I don't think we have. We've only ever really seen trap Rek'Sai picks that haven't been able to get enough done in the early game. But look at him, he's 64 CS ahead, 5-2 and 5. He's got an edge of night, for goodness sake.
Yeah, that
really
is
scary.
Just, he's a different breed, especially when you show the comparison.
Yeah.
Cad looked pretty, you know, he was okay when he first came out, but I think slowly he's kind of...
Oh dear. Well, Arrow connects onto Lehends. Puts his door up in an odd direction, but is going to survive. Utilizing his flash. Viper does still have a CS lead as of right now. So that's about the good news that I could find for Hanwha Life. Let's go back to talking about DAMWON, shall we? Is Dudu. He's going to get discovered.
Yeah.
BeryL not going to find that spear. Now Cad's looking for it. Tries to get in amongst this one as the heroic entrance not going to do anything at all. And now all 5 members of Hanwha Life are grouped up. And I think DAMWON are looking at them like they're just a pentakill waiting to happen.
We saw one of the match points was a fox in polar bear's clothing. That was referring to the Korean meme for Canyon where they call him a polar bear. It's kind of like all 5 members are like fox.
Well, they're going to dive onto Nuguri. There's the heroic entrance coming through from ShowMaker, who's going to turn up. Nuguri grabs the kill, doesn't die. The Ignite's going to tick down, and he will survive. The AoE damage not going to be enough. BeryL did bite the dust. Nuguri's going to be able to teleport back in if he wants to, though, as here's the rest of the kills. ShowMaker grabs the turret, Ghost grabs the kills. The Chain Lash is doing way more than any Chain Lash I've really seen coming out of ShowMaker here, and this might just be the end of the game. It's only Cad left alive, and the death timers are pretty decent. 15 seconds onto Dudu. This is at least an inhibitor and some Nexus turrets.
They're going to go for it for sure. There's not much that Lee Sin can do against these minions.
Yep. Sort of seems a little bit like a minion at this stage as ShowMaker is going to flash on forward. Chains are going to come down and bind him to the death chamber as Dudu, he's just going to get slapped around. Goes golden.
Just
very pretty
farming
croc. Yeah, I know, it's just insane. 7-1-7 now for ShowMaker, who does have the best KDA in the league at the moment, so you may as well just try and get some more kills. Nuguri going to steal that one away from him. He's extraordinarily low, as they've decided they want to kill all of them as they're coming in before anything happens, as Nuguri gets the most valuable